Right, welcome back. Progress is continuing on the Capri. I'll start with the actual body shell. As you can see that I've put the pinstriping on now. Both sides. As you can see. Using the Kitform Services pinstripe decals, as you can see. They wasn't long enough. Because when I put them on, it come to about there, where that line is. So I had to cut one in half, as you can see, and match it up on the Capri and overlap it to the other line. And I managed to do it in the end. It was very, very fiddly and time consuming. But the good thing about this paper, it only takes mere seconds to soak. And the decals will come off the backing paper with only a few seconds. But they are quite flimsy and they can tear. One of them tore on me actually. But as you can see, 3 on that side, 3 on that side. They're not the straightest in the world, but they're fairly straight. You know, just nudging them up with my wet brush, but I managed to do it in the end. You can also see that I've put the rubber seals on round the doors, which is just basically black paint matted. And round the back. And on the other side, around the windscreen. Because that's why I left the tape on. Once that had dried, I took the tape off, and miraculously I didn't really have that much paint bleed. Not too bad at all, so you can see right through. You can also see, looking through the window, that I've managed to do the dice. Basically getting some sponge and putting the white artist paint on it, made it all go crusty. And then I just cut off there, and then when I cut off, just retopped it with the white paint. Let it dry. And then I did one dice in my 102 fluorescent pink Gaia, and my other dice in the light green X15 Tamiya. And you can see there they are. And then just using a bit of a paper clip and just dipping it in some black paint, making the numbers, and then just cotton thread, just pierce through with the needle, and then just tied it off around the back there. As you can see, knotted it about what, 6 or 7 times just to make sure. And then with a rear view screen, well, the rear view mirror, I just got a bit of my sheet sign plastic, a paper clip, and I had 2 of those washers off the ATST spare. So I just glued one. Let's move that dice out of the way. I glued one there, as you can see, and one on the back of the plastic, and then just painted, and then put my silver in to simulate the actual mirror, and then just put a drop of glue where what I've actually done is round the mirror I've just wrapped it round about 4 to 5 times and then just put a drop of glue on. So that's that. You can also see on the front now I've put the rally lights on with the actual lenses. Now the rally lights are resin, so I had to super glue them in. And just drilled the holes and pushed those into place, and then painted them black before I glued them in, but they've gone in really well. The trouble is I could only fit 3 in, because 1, there's not enough space to fit 4, and 2, the front bumper won't allow it. So that's that. I mean, one's slightly more close, the middle one's slightly more close to that one, but it doesn't matter. Right, talking about the front bumper, I've had to fill the front bumper in, and then using a bit of cocktail stick and just pushing that into place by drilling the hole, because the actual mounting tabs broke off when I snapped the front bumper off. So I've redone those, because they will go into there eventually. So I've had to drill an extra 2 channels because my measurements were slightly off. But those will go in, and that will put the bumper into place. You can also see that I've rusted up the bottom of the chassis, really, really nice, as you can see. Just went to town on it. Let it dry for a couple of minutes and then wiped it off with my paper towel, and it's turned out a treat. So that's that. Now, the rear view mirrors on the side. There wasn't any with the kit, and there wasn't no pre-drilled hole either. So using some old ammo boxes from my old 135 Humvee build from a couple of years ago, they were a bit too thick, so I cut them in half, widthwise, and then just using a paper clip, drilled a channel pushed the paper clip into place, filled it in, sanded it down, and then using the Gaia 102 just painted it, and then with the silver just replicated the mirrors. But the Capri is almost finished. Stay with me. Right, I can happily say that the Del Trotter Ford Capri Patmobile is all done. I'm really chuffed on how it's turned out. Actually, it's turned out better than I expected, and it's turned out way better than it was before when I bought it off that seller. The wife's happy, so I'm happy. So here's the final reveal. Well, there it is. It's all finished. Turned out really well. Basically, what I've done is, since I left you last, I've attached the front bumper, as you can see, because I put the that last piece that's on the wheel arch there and there. I had to make a slight modification now. As you can see, it's not as big as it was, because all that piece wouldn't actually glue to the front of the Ford Capri. So what I had to do, just putting this down very gently, is I had to cut that section off and then just rough it down with the file, and then just have the front bumper section there. So I cut that off, then glued those two down, and then put the front section on, and I was able to put the front bumper on. I'm turning that over, I've just bent that back, I'll just bend these back. That's better. So then I glued the actual front green section on, and glued them back onto the sides. Once that was done, I'd actually glued the front bumper into place with those cocktail sticks, if you remember. So I just pushed that into place, glued round the cocktail sticks and a bit round there and there, and that's gone into place perfectly. It's gone just underneath the actual rally lights. Now, if you remember, the actual front lenses were all clouded and misted up. I tried to file the actual glue down and tried to buff it up, but it didn't work at all. So what I did is I went to the range in Willenhall and I picked up some 5mm sequins. I just spotted them out of the corner of my eye. And using the glue and glaze, I've glued those in, and you can see they've gone in really, really well. I mean, you can actually just make out the pattern. And, you know, I tried to get some lenses off the internet, but I didn't meet the £10 minimum order charge, and the lenses were only like £3. So, like I said, these sequins have worked an absolute treat. So, if you do find yourself that you're short of lenses, get some sequins. These are transparent sequins, 5mm. So I glued those into place with my glue and glaze, and it's worked out an absolute treat. Just pushing that back. Right, now you can see that I've also glued in the actual wing mirrors. They've gone in a treat using the glue and glaze again. As you can see, I had to hold that one up with one of my Revel pots, because it kept wanting to try and go down that way as it was drying. But they've turned out really, really well. And then you can also see that I've actually done some window wipers, windscreen wipers. Just basically a little bit of that sheet plastic there and there. Just painted it in silver, then the pink on top, and then using the glue and glaze. And the windscreen wipers are actually rubber. I found some rubber strips at work. I don't know where they came from, but I managed to find them. And also done the same for the back as well. Because the actual Capri did come with some windscreens, but there was actually windscreen wipers, but there was actually built into the actual the frame of the windscreen. So I just sanded that down, and like I said, just made some of my own, which is looking really nice. Like I said, you can see the dice showing through the window as well. And also using some food ties. I wish I hadn't turned this upside down now. Using some food ties, I melted the plastic off on my cooker, and then made a 0.6mm hole into the actual back of the Capri. They're actually supposed to be there sticking out the side and up, but I think they're all right where they are. So I just pushed the whole food tie down, painted it in silver, and then painted it in that fluorescent pink from Gaia, because it was up here. By the time I finished, it was poking all the way through down. It's just resting on the actual chassis underneath. And then it was about their tallness, and I just cut it off, and it's not too bad. I've also done one for the front as well, as you can see, studying some photos. And then last but not least, the number plates. You can see that I've glued the number. Well, I haven't glued them in. I've put some double-sided sticky tape on the front. Some double-sided sticky tape on the California license plate, but right about there it kept trying to pop out, so I just put a drop of glue and glaze down there. The actual license plates are self-adhesive, so I cut off some pizza card and just mounted them onto the back of some pizza card, and then put the double-sided sticky tape on. Also, not last but not least, is the actual radio lights on the bottom of the bumpers. I drilled a hole in the bottom of the bumper and just glued those in. They're the same as the ones on the top of the bumper. And then you've got the rear license plate. Again, with putting the license plate on some sticky back. They're self-adhesive, and then I put them onto some pizza card, and then put some double-sided sticky tape on the back of the pizza card and just mounted that. But that's not on the bumper, that's actually on the back of the actual Capri, and it's got a nice flat surface. And then you've got the California license plate again, did the same with some pizza card, double-sided sticky tape, and then just put a drop of glue and glaze down the back. But there it is. Delboy's Pratmobile is all complete. I mean, you can just about make the inside as well. Not too bad at all. I'm really chuffed on how this has turned out, and I know the wife's happy, so I'm happy. Well, as usual, I'll put some stills on the back of this video. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much. And hopefully, you know, in the next near future, some model company might bring out the Reliant Robins Regal Super Van, so I might be able to do Dell's freewheel van along with this eventually. Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching.
We've got some off-price crack ties, some miles and miles of carpet tiles, TVs, deep freeze and David Bowie LPs, pool games, gold chains, what's names and header push, some Trevor Frosty track suits from a mush in Shepherd's Bush. Push, 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 push. No income tax, no VAT, no money back, no guarantee. Black or white, rich or poor, we'll cut prices at a straw. Long live Hooky Street, say magnifique Hooky Street, magnifique Hooky Street, Hooky Street.